Side, that was awesome networking, top job. I'm really excited this evening about our main speaker, everybody. We've been following Susannah for a long time. I've seen Susannah talk at many events. Without doubt, one of the best in the industry. I think you're all in for a treat this evening. Incredible woman. The founder of a good property company. She sourced in excess of 100 deals in 3 years. Which is pretty remarkable, and she's raised an incredible amount of money, and she's an inspiration. And if you get the chance to sit down and talk to her like I did before the event, then do, because she'll blow you away, and I'm sure she's going to all blow you away in a moment. So without further ado, our main event, the incredible, the amazing Susannah Cole.
Thank you. The incredible, the amazing, limping Susannah Cole. As many of you know, I do CrossFit and weightlifting, and I'm just recovering from an injury, so I shall limp along the stage beautifully. Unlike last week, when I had to sit in a bar stool like a lady crooner, you know, like because I couldn't move at that point. Right, I'm good at property, I'm not so good at IT. Woo, it works. Job done. Let's just give you a very brief, I want to give you a brief background, so that those who are new think, you know what, that's applicable to me, it's okay. So if you're new in the room and you're feeling a little bit nervous and you're thinking, oh my God, these guys are really so big, that was me in March, almost 6 3/4 years ago. So 6 3/4 years ago, I hadn't bought a property. I started going to property events. I started by raising 600,000 quid from Bristol Pin with half the number of people in this room, and I raised it in less than 6 months, roughly 3 months. How? By collecting business cards. Why? Because I was damn hungry. So how many business cards have you guys collected tonight? And I know it's one of those bullshit networky speaker crappy things they say. Guys, I know the maths. Each business card is worth £168.39. No, I'm serious. And I talk to people who are my peers, and it's usually between 160 and 180 quid per business card. So damn it, we're not in the top 10%. We like to be in the top 10%. So if you are not collecting business cards, you're not moving to the next stage. And if you don't have enough money or enough skills, those business cards will eventually bring that money and those skills. Because if you think about this property malarkey, says she, limping, although this is better, oh my God, even yesterday I was hobbling. In property, if you think about the structure of our industry, so if you think about Pepsi and Coca-Cola, you know, market share, I'm having it. They absolutely have to smash each other, don't they? Now we think, without being poncy at all, that we are the biggest buyer of second-hand houses, which is a sexy title in Bristol. But are we buying every house in Bristol? Have we got major market share? We're the biggest buyer of one of the auction houses, without a doubt. We buy pre, during and post, and we are the first people they come to pre and the first people they come to post. Lovely. We're now moving into the position of the other major auction house to be the biggest buyer. Lovely. But actually, do we buy market share in those auction rooms every month? No. We buy 3, 4, 5 properties. How many are going out there every month? 28, 30 on each auction house, and 4 auction houses. So do I have market share in Bristol? No, and I'm probably the biggest buyer of second-hand houses, that hot, sexy title that I'm going to hit you with. So, structurally in our industry, are we better off sharing? Yes. So new people who are kind of like totally nervous the way I used to be, I mean, I literally would walk into a room and go, they're so big, I'm so little, I know nothing. You know, especially because I raised money in the service provider break and I'm blooming terrified. Even structurally, this industry is here to help you. Plus, you tend to get, you know, buzzing guys like these guys, who I've just been sitting having an absolute hoot, enjoying, who really love what they do. I mean, the point, and I don't want to sound like a plonker, but the moment I realised I was a millionaire, I was driving my beat-up, battered old car around the roundabout. And I suddenly realised, and I just kept driving around the roundabout. That's just mental. And I just drove around it like 8 times. Well, do you think I want to keep that to myself, or do I want to share it with everybody I know? Because if I can do it, head of household, single parent with 2 kids in less than 5 years, do you think you guys can do it too?
Yeah. Definitely.
Is it more fun for me to hang out with people who are like, bloody hell, this is stunning, and they're absolutely buzzing because this is an achievable thing? Or should I just be all in my garret and, you know, so you're in an industry of generosity, you're in an industry of abundance generally. Just watch out for the sharks, but there's enough of us good people that you'd be relatively safe. Just ask around. So I started in good old time honoured fashion. My kids are now 22 and 18 and a half. I had a good old chat with my son on the way down. He's like, Mum, I am not having that conversation with you. So you know what conversation Mum was having with the 18 and a half year old boy who likes the ladies. I was like, do you want me to send you any? Mum, I'm an adult. So mine are a little bit more grown up now. But I started 6 3/4 years ago. Head of household, and very conscious there was no plan B. I'm very close to my parents, but nonetheless, I'm not interested in them having to be plan B for me. I am head of a family, I need to make sure that family is safe. So very much driven by family security and safety, very strongly. And also without a plan B, and there was a time when they were very little, because I've been head of household since they were really quite tiddly toddlers, where genuinely, without this being a hard luck story, I couldn't afford the heating. So we didn't have heating that year, we just drove to the wood, because I lived in the country, and we picked up a bunch of logs and I sawed them up, and that's how we heated the house, because I don't do debt. I do now, I do millions of pounds worth of debt, but it's all very good debt. So if you have that level of discomfort, which I had, and that appreciation that one or two small things go wrong in your life, you're through the safety net, which as head of household you're very conscious of, that's a very useful tool to drive you forward. Because this is going to make you sleepless, this is going to make you worry, this is going to give you the worst cash flow you've ever had, this is going to just be like moments where you're going to go, why the hell am I doing this? So you need something to drive you forward. So I would suggest you want to think about what is it that's going to motivate you guys. For me it was strongly my family, strongly about being secure, and it is delicious without being a sort of show off at all, because I don't ever want to be like that. It's absolutely delicious this side of the fence, and it's worth every sleepless night I've ever had. So I'd encourage you strongly to get going, keep going, never give up, make friends that you can phone up and go, how scared are you? Yes, terrified, yes, me too, okay? Because you need those folks at 3 a.m, and then just keep going. So I raised 600,000, where? From Bristol Pin. Why? By collecting business cards and doing the 20-second pitch, and then following through. So maths, some of you know, I mean, I measure everything just out of interest, but I only ever work with people I really like to work with. I know that if I screen people and I ask them 3 questions, what's your objective, what's your time frame, and how much is your pot? And I'll usually get to those questions within 2 minutes. And I don't want to know your objective, I want 7% APR or 14% APR. Whoever thinks like that? They think, I want a camper van. And it's November, December, I want it next June. Okay, great, how much does that cost? 24 grand. Okay, what's the pot that you've got with? Okay, so we need to make 24 grand out of that 200 grand pot in kind of 9 months. Can my projects do that? If they can, let's work together. If they can't, I might suggest somebody else, or I might say I can't do the whole thing, but maybe these projects can contribute to half or 2/3. Now, isn't that a clear, simple conversation? What's your objective, what's your time frame, what's your pot? Do you see how fast I got there? And then I will meet up with people, and 1 in 2 people say yes once you've screened them, and 1 in 2 people will say no for fundraising. It's fine. So guys and ladies, you have no excuse. And I certainly won't be giving you any excuse. I also am a coach for both my sports, so this gets turned off. You need to collect the business cards and you need to meet up with people to raise the money. On average, people gave me 50 grand. So 1 in 2 say yes, 1 in 2 say no, and on average they give me 50 grand. So just some simple maths, because I want to kind of demystify all this stuff. To raise 100 grand, how many coffees do I need? 4. Who said 2? You've got to do your maths. You'd be hopeful. So 4. In order to raise 200 grand, how many coffees do I need? 8. Okay. In order to raise 300 grand, how many coffees do I need? 12? Yes, that's right. Yes, thank you. How difficult is that? Honestly, is it difficult to ask people, what's your objective? What do you want to achieve? You want to send the kids to private school, you want to send the kids to university, you want a camper van, you want to go on holiday. How much does that cost? When do you want to do it by? And how much have you got to make that happen? It's quite achievable. Is it achievable to go out for a bunch of coffees with people, learn shed loads on the way, and raise some money from some people that want to work with you? Totally achievable. And sadly for me at the front of the room, now that we're quite well known and relatively well respected, I would hope, it doesn't change from me to you. So on average, people will want to meet up with you or have conversations with you between 6 and 9 times before they'll invest money. I was kind of hoping that it got faster as you became more well known, because clearly, you know, you've done stuff. No, it doesn't. It totally doesn't. So there is nothing different to you, to me, that you need to meet up with people and talk to them between 6 and 9 times before you'll end up working together. Isn't that easy maths to raise money? So there is no excuse in a high value area like this to not start in property. Apart from you're terrified, but don't worry about that, just keep going. We're all terrified at times. So I got my first portfolio worth 1.8 mil, which now I'm like, oh, that's so cute, that's so dinky. I only wanted to buy £1 million when I started, and now I'm like, oh, baby, that's honey. In 18 months, jumped out my job. And out of time, money, and skills, which are the 3 resources in property, I think majority of you might be feeling like money is the big kind of bottleneck. No way. I mentor a lot of people and I've observed my own development. Time is the bottleneck. So whilst I can't advocate ditching the day job, do you know, if you're living on beans on toast, so what? You're going to be buying millions of pounds worth of property. You just ain't going to be living on very much for a while. It is time that is the game changer, beyond any shadow of a doubt. As soon as you can put time into your business, whether it's time or a great team's time, that is when things are significantly going to change. Because you know what, you can stand here and say, I'd like to borrow some money, please.